City Council meeting. Turning to our order of business, we have no ordinances on final reading. Under ordinances first reading, Madam Clerk, if you would, let's read 8A, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the west side row of the 1700 block of Joyner Road as detailed on the attached maps.
This is an abandonment, so I don't think there's a public hearing on an abandonment. Councilman Ledford.
No, sir, it is not. I do want to make approval to get on the floor the alternate version, please.
All right.
And then I would like to make an amendment. Thank you. I would like to amend the alternate version, striking conditions 2 and 3. And before I make that motion and receive a second on that, hopefully, Mr. Davis, you will be tracking this project from your office as we move forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Then I will let that stand as a motion striking conditions 2 and 3. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to strike conditions 2 and 3 with a proper second. Is that correct? Any questions or comments before we vote on the amendment? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion to amend carries.
Thank you. And move to approve as amended.
Second.
All right, we now have a motion on the floor to approve as amended with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. So moved.
Thank you, Chairman.
Moving now into our planning items, 8B, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to lift and amend conditions of ordinance number 13280, a previous case number 2018-0017 for properties located in the 1700 through 1900 blocks of Henniger Circle, subject to certain conditions.
Case number 2024-0127. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford?
Mr. Chairman.
I see no applicant nor opposition.
Move to approve, Chairman.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. 8C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone parts of the 1730 Gun Barrel Road and 1721 Joyner Road from R1 residential zone to R4 special zone.
Case 2024-0129. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve, Chairman.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. Moving now into resolutions. Madam Clerk, 9A.
A resolution confirming the appointment of Daniel C. Wright to the Old Sports Authority Board for District 9, with the term beginning on July 31st, 2024 and ending on July 30th, 2030.
Councilwoman Coonrod?
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving now to economic development, 9B, please.
A resolution confirming the surplus of property at 7725 Lee Highway as identified on tax map number 139F-A-033.04 and authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a donation agreement with the Woodbine Community Organization, Inc. in substantially the form attached for the donation of the property and to execute all documents necessary to complete the closing transaction with the closing date on or before December 31st, 2024.
Councilman Ledford.
Move to withdraw item B, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to withdraw with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote on this item? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. So moved. Moving now, Madam Clerk, if you would, let's take 9C and D together as a package.
Item C, a resolution authorizing the fire department to apply for and if awarded, accept the Assistance to Firefighters Grant, AFG, from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to provide extensive cancer and disease screening for firefighters who are at a much higher risk to develop certain types of cancers and illnesses due to exposures to hazardous environments, which funding is based on a quote by United Diagnostic Services, LLC, UDS, at a cost of $350 per firefighter, with a 10% match by the city in the amount of $13,968.19, for a total amount of $139,681.81. Item D, a resolution authorizing the executive director of the Chattanooga Public Library to apply for and, if awarded, accept a Tennessee State Metro grant from the Tennessee Secretary of State, State Library and Archives, for providing access to and/or circulating library materials in a variety of formats, providing special services to children and young people, to promote general education support services, and targeting materials to persons having difficulty using a library and to the underserved in the amount of $430,500.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 9C and D with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed is no. The ayes have it. Moving now to Mayor's office. Madam Clerk, with no objection, let's take 9E through I, please.
Item E, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Veronica Dunson to the Beer Board for a term beginning on July 31st, 2024 and ending on July 30th, 2027. Item F, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Brad Folsom to the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals for a term beginning on July 31st, 2024 and ending on July 30th, 2028. Item G, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's reappointment of Ann Jones-Pierre to the Wastewater Board of Appeals for a term beginning on December 11th, 2023 and ending on December 10th, 2027. Item H, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's reappointment of David Higney to the Wastewater Board of Appeals for a term beginning on December 11th, 2023 and ending on December 10th, 2027. Item I, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of James Richards to the Wastewater Board of Appeals for a term beginning on July 31st, 2024 and ending on July 30th, 2028.
What's the pleasure of the council? We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's appointees. With a proper second, any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed is no. Motion does carry. Do we have any appointees, board appointees in the audience with us tonight? All right, thank you. Thank you for your service. All right. All right, Madam Clerk, moving now to Parks and Public Works, we'll take items 9J and K together, please.
Item J, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to authorize execution of change order with Stantec Consulting Services to provide engineering services for contract number T.22-007-101, Hamel Road Slope Stabilization Project, to include the design of a slope stabilization solution, permitting services, and bidding of construction services in the amount of $82,600. Item K, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to authorize change order number 1 for Robert Roberts LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee for the new fire station number 15, contract number F-18-001-201 in the amount of $263,660.97 for a total amount of $4,520,869.47.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's the pleasure of the council? All right, we have a motion to approve items 9J and K with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Thank you, council. Moving now into purchases.
Good evening, council. We have 5 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first is from the Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is a one-time purchase of a Ford F-550 CCTV truck from a recommended supplier, Q's Inc., for the wastewater department in the amount of $422,164.52. This purchase will utilize HGAC by contract number SC06 PT.2. The second is from the Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is for the purchase of 9 LubeCore Python lube kits that are manufactured by LubeCore International. LubeCore is certified Spring Fellow as an installing partner and service center for the amount of $62,847. The third is also from the wastewater department. This is a one-time purchase of a Caterpillar 308 mini excavator for the wastewater department. The recommended supplier is Stowers Machinery Corporation for the amount of $146,740.30. This purchase will utilize the state of Tennessee contract number SWC 2525-72872. The fourth purchase is from wastewater. This is a one-time purchase of a Caterpillar 299D3 compact track loader for the department. The recommended supplier is Stowers Machinery Corporation in the amount of $120,420.85. This purchase will utilize the state of Tennessee contract number SWC 2525-72872. The fifth and final purchase is from the Facilities Management Division of Public Works. This is a request for an increase to the contract with Industrial Welding Supply Company for industrial gases and welding supplies due to unforeseen usage of the contract. Facilities Management has approved a $15,000 increase for a new annual estimated spend of $60,000 for year 1 through September 21st of 2024.
All right, council, you heard the request this afternoon. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. So moved. Thank you. All right, now we move to committee reports. Councilwoman Coonrod.
No report.
Councilwoman Knoll.
No report.
Councilwoman Dotley.
No report.
Councilman Smith.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Ledford.
No report today.
Councilman Hester.
No report.
All right. And I do not have a report, but the city attorney does need to announce a settlement.
Yes, sir. Would like to announce that there has been a settlement for the folks in the wastewater division for a claim for sewer backup in the home. This total settlement is in the amount of $56,402.68 for cleanup and for remediation bill back in that location.
All right.
Want to announce that in the public meeting.
All right. Thank you, sir. That moves us to recognitions of persons wishing to address the council this afternoon. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to address the council? Mr. Attorney, if you would read our rules to address the council.
Yes, sir. And at the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address. Here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address can only be recognized at the microphone up front. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not upon matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Don't engage in any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law, and someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having heard those rules again, sir, please go right ahead.
Yes, sir. You think you can do that?
Yes, sir. I will try my best,
Okay.
and I'll keep it brief. Josh Bratton with Greater Chattanooga Realtors. Just 2 quick announcements for you all. Much like when I was in high school, I was always glad to hear that there had been an extension given on any assignment, and I come with that good news today. We just received the go-ahead from my CEO allowing an extension for the placemaking grant deadline. That is now the end of August 31st, which is a Saturday, but don't let it creep up on you. And as I mentioned last week, I'm always available to be a resource. Our association and realtors want to give back to the community that's given them a way of living, and so we are anxious to do that. So that's the first announcement. The due date's now August 31st. Secondly, I didn't have time to mention it last week, we are coming up on our annual partnership luncheon that we have with the Home Builders Association of Greater Chattanooga, and On Friday, August 16th, we're going to have our annual Economic Outlook Luncheon. Very excited to welcome from the National Association of Realtors, Dr. Jessica Lautz, who is the Deputy Chief Economist and Vice President of Research for National Association of Realtors. I've heard her a number of times. She's a great speaker. And also Adam Myers, who's VP of Economic and Talent Development here at the Chattanooga Chamber of Commerce. Feel free to email me if you would like to get tickets for that. Tickets are $45 for that. And it's a great joint luncheon that we have with our partners at the Home Builders Association. And as always, thank you all for what you do.
What time and where is that?
That's a great question. It is at the Convention Center at 11:30, Friday, August 16th.
Okay,
Thank you all.
thank you. Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Council, I am not seeing anyone that would like to address the council. What's your pleasure? So moved. We're adjourned.